Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Good,
Very
thank you. How are
good.
you?
Very well. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very, look,
What,
you're a
what's in
proper
those?
film buff.
What's in those boxes? The unopened boxes. Are they very valuable? Like,
A little bit of both. There are like very old ones and new ones. It's like my own little room of movie magic. Yeah.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah, your man cave.
So thank you for your time again. And Olivia, I'm going to start with you. At one point in the movie, a character says that no one's going to give you the life you want. You have to go out and get it, which is absolutely true. And I was wondering, when it comes down to your own life, how did you make sure you truly get to live the life you want and deserve?
Well, I weirdly feel fortunate that I'm only good at one thing because it meant I I was a terrible secretary, terrible
You a good cleaner? Were you a good cleaner?
Actually, very good cleaner.
Oh, you see, there was an alternative.
There's something about some of my actor friends who are very bright and very good at all sorts of things. Maybe, and some of them ended up not continuing with acting. But I can't do anything else. I had to. So I did sort of have to go out and get it and fight and work because the alternatives were, I wouldn't be happy with the alternatives because I wouldn't be able to do very well in them.
But Olivia, there's a quite a big difference between actors who've had early success and actors who've had to really work it over years and have experienced, particularly in the early days, time when nobody wanted to employ them.
Yes, that's true.
And that's what you fought your way through. So you did have to doggedly stick it out.
Yeah.
Were there moments that you thought? Were there ever moments you thought?
No.
Maybe I'm doing the wrong thing.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even
But you knew you could do it on some level.
I knew secretly that I could do it.
Yeah.
And so even if I was forever and I started off doing a lot of plays in rooms above pubs, but even that I was happy, because I was working. So, but it would have been nice to be able to pay my rent a little more easily. Sorry, I went quite off on a tangent now. That was...
No, that's brilliant. And Sam, Stephen believes that it's pointless to continue to pursue his dreams after having been rejected. And it's actually Hillary who tells him not to give up. And I was wondering, whenever you are rejected in your life for whatever reason, what is it that motivates you to try again?
I tend to not give any value to success particularly. So I find that as you continue to work, you become aware that the immediate criteria for whether something is good or not tends to fade very quickly, and you end up with your own opinions about the work and all that kind of stuff. But I suppose what I've always done is have something else in my head that I'm going to do in the future. So I know there's life after this one. So you don't put all your focus on just that one thing, which I think can be very, if you do that, it can be very hard to recover. But if you've already got something else that part of you is thinking about,
that's exactly what I always did for auditions.
Yeah.
Always make a plan for the hour afterwards. So
wow.
This was sort of getting in the way of that.
Oh, that's clever.
It was really helped.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't smell of desperation whenever I went in there.
Yeah.
How funny.
You failed. Yeah. You still smell of desperation.
Also, Olivia, last question for you. Your character tells a story about fishing and shame. And I have to be fully honest with you guys, it's actually a story that reminded me of myself a little bit.
Oh.
No, because the movie perfectly shows us that we should not be, ashamed to say no, not be ashamed to ask, and not be ashamed to express your true feelings. And I was wondering, when it comes down to your own life, what would you say how difficult it can be at times to don't allow any form of shame to have an impact on what you say, what you do or don't do, and on the way how you express your feelings?
That's hard. I don't think I'm the best person at... I always worry that I've said something that might upset someone. And maybe if I'd got a real handle on it, I would worry less about that. So shame is an awful thing to experience. But in a way, I think I do worry a little too much that I might have that everyone's okay. But that's not shame. That's something else. I don't know.
It's a funny thing. I mean, I think shame, you know, it's not just about one. I mean, in the context of the movie, it's about being ashamed, being honest enough to admit that you're ashamed of how you behaved, or being very aware that you're being embarrassed about the memory of you, and knowing that, can you step into the world again, knowing that people have said those things or might think those things about you. And I think that's something that actors live with all the time, because I think they're constantly being judged, and they're not just being judged on their performance, but on their appearance and what they're wearing and all that sort of stuff. And they still have to step out the next day after getting, you know, sometimes they get raves and sometimes they get pasted, you know, and it's not just for performances. Like I say, it's, you know, your red carpet look or whatever. Yeah. And I think actually pretty good at coping with, actors on the whole, pretty good at coping with that. It's much more difficult. It's, you know, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to just, I think the easy part's the acting. It's the other stuff that's hard.
By far the best bit of it. Yeah.
Wow, seriously, Sam, Olivia, I want to thank you so much for sharing your stories today, for your time. You have my best wishes for this movie. It's been such a blast to, you know, to see movie magic, a movie about movie magic while being magical itself. So you have a wonderful day and time.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.